Hello, world! Welcome to Code or Not to Code. I'm Millie Eva. I'm super happy to be here today. And as always, I'm here with Stefan. How are you doing?
I'm doing what's the word? Splendidly. We're about to
Splendidly! Oh my
we're
god,
about
I
to
love splendid.
we're about to
Yes,
round off our tool and get it ready for the next release.
I love the word splendid. It's one of my favorite words in the English language, and I haven't used it in a long time. So thank you for reminding me. I will now use it more often, definitely. Um, yeah. Um, if you're new to this show, we are two friends who come on air every now and again and code together, code live with you actually. So it's all live coding, which is why my copy pasting is this awful. And like literally, like every time I do it, like my fingers get like all like sweaty and like it's awful. You'll see. um, and this is actually the second project we do together. We're currently building a .NET tool, as Stefan teased. Stefan has a lot more experience than me, so he's totally carrying me through it. As are
Yes.
our loyal viewers as well. You've been a great help. So thank you for that. Um, and what does our tool do, I hear you ask? Well, basically, it counts and it globalizes usings. So what else do you need to hear? No, of course. Well, if you're, for example, using a specific using like in every single file of your project, it might be wise to globalize it, meaning putting it in a different maybe global using file and having it as a global using, meaning that you don't have to import it in every single file on the top of it. um, and how do you know whether you're using a global sorry how do you know whether you're using a using in each of your files? You can count them with our counter. So that's just giving you a list of all the usings you're using and an integer telling you how many times you're using it. And so if you have one that's used 20 times, you can just globalize it and then it will be removed from all of your files and put as a global using into a separate file. That's basically what it does. Um,
Trying to get I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong. Trying to show it. Oh yes. I think now I got it. Do I though?
woohoo!
But it's yeah, there we go. So we get the current occurrences of the different using declarations. And then we can also, let's say, which one haven't we globalized yet?
Ooh, well, we've globalized, I think, the first two. So let's try the third one, C# syntax. It's also
So
fun
instead of
times.
counting, globalize, run the command, and I made a typo.
Mhm. Coding
Glo-
live. See, this is exactly the magic of it.
well, yesterday I had a conversation with a presenter at a meetup. Uh, it seems it's almost impossible to get right.
It is.
And
There's
we
like an
did,
unwritten rule in the universe. Yeah.
yeah, indeed. We did replace 5 occurrences, and if we take a look at the diff, we see that we now have a new document, a global using document that has this as a global using, and from all those 5 occurrences, it has been removed.
Removed. Woohoo! um, yeah, if you are also like if you're interested in previous content, if you're interested in sort of upcoming content, if you're interested in us in any way, shape, or form, you can also give us a follow on X. Yeah, this is sort of a place where we connect with our viewers, and yeah, you can also reach out with
Oops.
content suggestions or whatever you like. Give us a follow. We'd love to hear from you. Um, and now it's time for .NET News. News flash. We need a jingle. We need a
We
jingle
need a
for this
jingle.
section. We absolutely do. This is my New Year's resolution.
Oh, we talked about a jingle. We still,
Yeah,
I
we did.
haven't followed on that at all. We need a jingle.
We
Get
need a
a
news flash jingle.
jingle. Do you know somebody where we can get a jingle from? Or
Yeah, I
is the
do actually.
jingle? Can we go to
Maybe I should.
jingle.com?
Oh no, actually, I need an. I know an artist who can do it, but the thing is,
Hmm.
because we went to school together, so I'm sure he
Mm-hmm.
could do it. But like he's like those artists who make jingles and are actually a little bit successful with it. Like they are so busy, but so it
Mm-hmm.
might take a while. because he's obviously doing stuff that's well paid first.
Of course.
But I can totally contact him actually. That'd be
Maybe
fun.
maybe for the next season.
Yeah, I'll ask him. I'll actually ask him. That'd be so cool. And it would be
But
also, yeah, promoting his
excuse me.
stuff. He doesn't need promotion. He's doing fine.
Ah, perhaps. Well, Acronym Twinning is joining. Thank you very much.
Woohoo!
Also
Welcome back.
suggesting, also suggesting perhaps an I-generated one.
Oh my god,
Hmm.
that would be a fun episode though. Can we do that? Or how does it? Or is it just literally like writing in Chat GPT and hoping for the best?
Maybe there is a jingle generate AI bot prompt thing where you say give flash over jingle and it does it. I don't know. We need to do our homework.
We need to do our homework. We could also do a competition. I could ask my friend to do it, and you could generate it, and then we could ask our viewers which one they think was generated and which one was human generated.
Ooh, we have more content.
We'll never run out of content. I think we
No,
could do
never.
this, like, yeah, for many years with
Excellent.
just the ideas, even if we stop having ideas at this point.
Well,
But yeah, oh, sorry.
no. Go ahead.
No, I was going to move on to the news.
Oh
That I
yes,
already
yep.
see, like,
I
in your
guess we,
browser.
I guess we can go as long as we are supported with new versions of our beloved.NET.
Ah,
And just yesterday, the final release candidate of .NET 8 has been released. So it contains new changes, new what's that, quality of life improvements such as readmes in all of the packages. There's also an option that I like in the SDK. You can now for commands you can say the get property option and say which property to get from the build, and then you actually get that. So perhaps we can also build this in a future episode. I'll add a task for that. And also many improvements in ASP.NET Core, in Entity Frame, in .NET MAUI, also in Entity Framework 8, and there's a lot of new stuff to explore. And in the final release candidate before the 8.0 .NET version is released on the 14th of November or just before that.
woohoo! It's that also passed. Like I still remember when we sort of did an episode and we were like, and this is gonna be the end of the year, and it was like January, and it was like, oh, it's almost a year, but I can't wait for it. And now it's like, oh my god, this is like in a couple of weeks, a year has passed so quickly. But yeah,
Yes, indeed.
oh, kidokes. Is this okay?
Yes, it is.
What is this? Is this the? I think it's time that we start coding, right? Or is something else
Yes.
happening? Yes.
So
Good.
perhaps so what we accomplished last time was that should we do
Yes,
an
we should.
integration test? Oops, I pressed the wrong button here on my computer. There we go. So what I fixed on my machine, though the .NET 6 tests were failing, I said this was some setup failure on my end. I fixed that. Now they're passing as well. There was no source change. This was on my machine. And we also fixed our unit test, our integration test for not Windows operating systems. And we have renamed, where is the CLI? We have renamed the project option where we pass the project. We haven't renamed this option, but we have renamed the alias. And I pronounced alias correctly, but I did hold a little bit just to ensure that from -p to --purge in order to enable the -p, which means passing properties to the MS build that we will implement in the future. And we also validate the existence of the of the project that we use by doing something quite simple, just saying existing only. And now system.command line is taking care of the validation that this file is actually really existing, and otherwise gives us a nice error. And now I mentioned this project and proj a lot. Currently, we always have to explicitly pass the project. But what if our working directory, for example, in this case that we showed, where we basically enter, we pass the project. Let's zoom in there. We pass the project, but we basically have the project. It's in the current working directory. So we are in our current working directory is the same location where the project is situated. And if we only have one project, we could implicitly search for that project or for any project in the current working directory. If there is none or many, then we have an ambiguity and we still throw an error. But if there's exactly one, we could avoid the requirement of passing this and just assuming we take the current one from the current working directory, because this is also what the other .NET SDK commands allow. For example, doing a .NET restore, just say .NET restore. I'm not explicitly passing a project, and it assumes the only CS proj in the current working directory. And I think to round off our tool for the next preview release, I think this is a very nice addition and makes using it significantly easier.
I totally agree. I love this. How do we?
So this is not, how do we do this? Yes. So this is not a feature in our tool, in our Wasling tool, but is a feature of the infrastructure that we have for system command line, where we need to find a project in the current working directory. So where we will do this, basically, we do have here the project option that we do use for, I guess let's zoom in a little bit more, that we do use for both the count command and also the globalize command. And what we could build is, if this option is not explicitly set, then we search the current directory for a single CSproj file. I guess perhaps this is a suggestion from Eggplant in training from last time. Perhaps we write down as a comment what we want to do. If or if the project option is not explicitly set, we search the current working directory for a single .csproj. If there is exactly one, use that. If there is none, it will be an error. If there is more than one, that will be an ambiguity error as well.
I love it.
Potentially suggesting that we should explicitly pass it via -- project.
Okay, and now it's my turn, isn't it, to translate that into fabulous code?
Yes, it is.
Code. Woohoo! Hello. Welcome to the.
Hello, Vasi. Thanks for joining.
All right, let's do it. Sounds good.
Hello, Daniel.
Hi, Daniel. From the office. Probably not from my office, is it? Hi. Do I have... Oh my god, or it is. There is a very high up person in my office that's also called Daniel, and if that's it, I am terrified.
Well, I don't wanna what's the word? Dox too much. No, doxing is not. No, let's not get into that.
Okay,
I know which Daniel. So okay. Thanks for joining.
I'm currently trying to do an if statement. So
what are we writing?
It's going to be entertaining. What are we writing? Okay, so we're writing the first one. If the project option is not explicitly set, so I would first, just for my brain, say, what do we do if it is set, and then put like an exclamation point somewhere, or not, and then decide where to go from there. But you know what I mean? That's how I would go
Yes.
about it.
Yes.
Okay, and where do we
What
get the project option from, actually?
what I'm likely to complain now?
Oh God.
That's
I already,
that's
did
a
I
silly
already,
question, isn't it?
did I already do it wrong?
Well,
That's not a
no,
good
not at all.
start.
No, not at all. But
Okay.
I was hoping for a unit test first, or an integration test in our case.
I did already get it wrong. See? See? Terrible. Good start, guys.
And it's not that the office.
Okay, I'm so happy. I'm so happy my CTO isn't watching this. No, he should be watching. That would be awesome. He should not be watching me fail at an if statement, though.
No, well, it's
So,
not. No. I'm just quite persistent on having a test first that fails.
fair enough.
So let's go to our tests here and let's create let's add a test that adds a
Yes.
project. And well, we don't really need to verify. Well, we can have a very simple that only has like one single using and count that and all is good. And
I'm gonna
get
copy paste.
that going.
Everybody,
Hold on, that's the Visual Basic test. Let's not copy that
let's not copy this one.
because that's the test that asserts
I'm doing
that
very well
we
today.
can't open that file and we get an
Okay. And
a good error message. Let's
well,
use let's if we want to copy the first one and then we reduce it to just one single document.
oh yeah. Wish me luck. Oh, love it. Okay, naming. Woohoo! So this is still on the count.
Yes.
What are we trying to? What's the scenario? The scenario is is the scenario that the project is not explicitly set?
Yes. I would phrase it. I would not phrase it negatively with the not negation, but positively. So we have we say, nah, never mind. Just it's okay. I'm too. I don't know.
Okay, so how do we how do we get rid of the project? Okay, project not set.
Well, we could say find single project implicitly, or take single project implicitly.
What is implicit? What? What is implicitly?
Implicitly. So without explicit, if we don't explicitly state the project, we implicitly assume one.
Yes, I like it. I like it. Find project.
Detect. ActPlanet training is suggesting detect. I do like that.
I love it. Detect project. No, detect project implicitly.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. Implicit. I hope my English teacher isn't watching this. Really? Is that no? It's
without the E,
damn it.
I believe.
Sorry, excuse me. Implicitly.
Yes,
Nice.
I think so.
Easy. Good stuff. And we want to.
I guess. Well, the thing is, then we are loading that.
Actually,
or we just leave it. Find all using. Yeah.
Find all occurrences. Yeah. That's fine. And then we don't want any of these documents. Is that what you said?
Yeah. Let's just have a single one to reduce the test to the bare minimum.
Oh my god. Is that how?
Yeah. Yeah.
And this initialize? Do we need that?
And we need that, yeah, because that's creating the project.
Oh, yeah.
I guess let's also change that to let's only have 2 usings there. Let's do a top level statement there, just reducing some code here to have the minimum example. Okay, cool.
But now this should go away, right?
Indeed, yes.
Woohoo.
Also, Bazi is asking if which collaboration tool we are using in Visual Studio. That is extension that does come. Actually, Training already answered it, but I still want to show that in stream. Thanks for answering that off stream, in the chat. Sorry. We do use, if I find it, Visual Studio Live Share. Which actually, I believe it comes since Visual Studio 2022. I think it's installed per default. There is a checkbox you can remove, but I think per default it's checked. And yeah, it also works with VS Code, where you need to explicitly install the plugin or the extension, and that works. Well, last time we had some problems, but so far it hasn't crashed yet. So let's keep those fingers crossed.
Yeah. Oh my god. I hope you didn't jinx it just now.
Yeah.
Because last
Well,
time.
that's on me.
Okay. If it crashes, it's on you. I can live with that. Okay, but so we run Rx. That's still fine. And then what do we expect? We expect.
Well, let's only have a
not,
single one. That would be the minimum. The minimum. Yeah.
Nice. One.
Wonderful.
Yes, perfect. Easy.
So let's run the test.
And it will fail. Hopefully. Right?
It does indeed, and it says so multiple failures were encountered. We get well. We expected some output. We got no output, but instead we get an error, and the error says some not implemented exception.
Nice.
Let's see where this is ending. Maybe it's something that we don't anticipate. So the error is, please pass a specific project path via -- project. This is an exception that we throw. This is definitely from us. So I guess now it's time to find that code and do the if.
Okay.
Cool. That will be in this project.
Yes. Hello. I'm here as well. Woohoo! Okay, but now this is wrong. Now it's time for my wonderful if statement. Right?
So let's see what we got. So what do we have so far?
Nothing. No. Okay. Let's see.
Because we do get the project option, so that's the -- project. We already get that, and if it is null, then we throw this not implemented exception. So this is exactly what we got in the error message.
Oh.
And I think this is what we did 2 episodes ago.
Yeah.
A couple of episodes when we built the -- project. I think this was the placeholder we implemented for us to do the implicit search. So I think this is the if statement that we now.
We don't need to write any if statement.
Have a new one, yeah.
We got it. Okay, so if it is null, then we don't throw this. We want to search for the current project. How do we do that though? Oh no.
What would you? Okay, so when it comes to file I/O, or when it comes to file-based operations, you want to search in the system.io namespace. So maybe let's enter system.io, and then we see where autocompletion can take us to.
System. .io.
Yes. Dot, and let's see what autocompletion has. So there is a directory. There is also a file. And there is also a path. Those are the three. There is also path. Those are the three the main static classes that could be one of our entry points. And directory sounds good indeed. Let's take a look. And is there something like a current working directory?
No. Create exists. Get current directory.
Let's use that. That sounds promising. So this gets the current working directory of the application. This returns a string. And it's not nullable, so it will always return the current working directory. Cool.
Should I save it somewhere, or is that?
Let's put it in a string. Yes, or in a var.
Current. Oh my god, my naming skills. Not current directory.
Current directory sounds fair.
Okay.
And now I'll enter here because system.io is already included. We don't need the fully qualified name. And okay,
Cool.
we want to search within that directory for a file that ends in .csproj.
Okay.
So which of those three APIs would you now?
Wow. Did you do that? Did I do that?
No.
What happened?
Yeah, I think that was
my
the
God.
Visual Studio auto-completion.
Yeah. Sorry. That was exciting. Yes, we want to look for a file.
Indeed.
this
So
directory.
let's see what file has in store for us. Or is it file? No,
What?
it's not file. That may be on path. Let's take a
Path?
look. What
Okay.
the static class path has in store for us.
The static what?
The static class called path. We used path before in order to
Okay.
combine. We used path.combine to build up a path that is,
Yeah.
but that works. So we don't do explicit slashes or backslashes. If we do path.combine, that works on the respective operating system correctly. So this is where we used path before. We also used path in order to convert an absolute path to a relative path. We used that for tests. And path.combine is causing headaches. Thank you, Matthias, for joining in.
I like that. Hi, Matthias. How are you doing? Okay, but this is not here, I assume, or is it at the end?
No.
What is it? What is it? Path.combine.
And no, we don't combine. Now let's search for files. So let's see if there is something where we can get all the files from a specific directory.
Sorry, say that again. We want to get all the files from our current directory.
Yes.
Okay.
So path should have something for us.
Path dot.
Oh, Matt Koch is watching one of his most favorite .NET streams.
Stop it.
I'm blushing.
Don't stop. So I'm struggling though.
I understand completely that this is that, but I'm very fair. I'm very super fine with sharing that.
I can't find it though.
Something with files. If you enter file, oh, there isn't indeed. Who was I wrong? Is it maybe on file? Perhaps I was wrong. I guess it was wrong. I was I was super wrong. Is it maybe on file?
Get file name. I can find. Does that help?
That cuts off a path. This is not what we want. We want to get all the files from the current working directory. Perhaps it's on.
Maybe on
Eggplant Training is suggesting it. It is actually on directory as well.
Okay.
So if you take a look instead of path, take a look at what directory has. I always forget where those are.
Directory. Okay.
So there is. Okay, so we can now choose between enumerate files, sounds promising, or enumerate. There's also get files, is it not? Is it called?
Yeah.
So we have now two options: get files and enumerate files. Where the difference is, let's have them both. Get files will return an array. So that's a materialized collection, which will immediately contain all of the files in this path. Or we use enumerate files. Now instead returns an enumerable that, depending on the implementation, may not return a full materialized collection already, but it could an enumerable that is only evaluated when enumerated. So this will be deferred execution. The array would be eager, everything is materialized immediately. The enumerable would be deferred whenever we start iterating through it. and we can choose one of the options. I guess for us, it will not make the most performance difference, but yeah, we can, I guess we could also, yeah, whatever we prefer. What would you prefer?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. If you say it doesn't really make a difference for us, I mean, I don't know. That's you sounded a lot more excited about the enumerate files.
Oh yes,
so-
yes I am. I like
Yeah.
deferred.
Okay. Fine. Let's do that.
Then let's take a look at the overloads we have. So there is either we can pass a path. We could pass also a search pattern. I think this is not regex, but it is, what's that called? Wildcards. So we can put a star, for example, in it, where just a star means any name. We could have a star.csproj, meaning that with the search pattern, if we have star.csproj, that would mean find all the names that end in .csproj.
I like that.
There is also search options. The search options now have top directory only, or also all directories, where all directories will also recursively contain the subdirectories. Because what you would need to write, or could need to write manually, is get the current directory, get all the files there, but also all its directories, and then recursively scan these directories for files. And this search option would do this for us as an accelerator or convenience overload. And there was one more thing that we could pass, the enumeration options that I have never used. There's something with compatible recursive. Okay, hold on, that's internal use. Provide files and directory enumeration options. Okay, what options do we have? We have ignore inaccessible. We could, okay, when it comes about hidden and system files, and also the maximum recursion depth. I guess for now we could go without them. If we have some issues with hidden or system files, I thought that, but because .csproj should never be hidden nor system files, so I guess we wouldn't run in these issues at all. So I guess we can ignore that for now.
Fair enough. Okay, so we need a path first, right? Yeah.
Yes. Also, one last thing I want to look. What is the default search option? If the default search option is top level directory only, then we don't need to pass anything. If it's, well, I can imagine because that's the 0. So I guess that would be the default. Yeah. I guess that's fine to use. Search target direct. No, hold on. That's a search target, search pattern. Search target directories. I don't know what that is, but I guess it's fine too. We don't need the search option side, I believe. Okay, cool. So enough of documentation and code. Now let's build it.
Let's do it. Okay. How do we get to the path? Is it like project.path or something?
Well, we
No, probably not. Do we have it already somewhere? And I can't just.
Yes, the line above.
Yes. What?
So we already got the current working directory.
Oh. Nice. Current. Oh, of course, you said the line above, and I looked 4 lines above.
At that point.
I was like, this is what I was trying to do, like from project to the path, and I was like, but yes, apparently I'm an idiot. Great. So we've got the path. We want the star and then .csproj, which is the pattern.
Yes, but this will be passed as a string.
A string. Yes. And woohoo. And then we want 1 for, I forgot what it meant, but no, I know what it, so we don't only want to, we want to search everywhere, not just in this level where we at, right?
No, I would say we don't want to go recursive. We only want to search the current directory.
Oh, of course.
Because then we would, what if we have like a bit of a tree, what we in the current working directory maybe don't have a csproj, but there is 2 subfolders which both of them have them. I don't think this is the behavior of the .NET SDK. So I would mirror the behavior of the .NET SDK
Also-
because that's the least surprise, and I think that's only search in the current directory, no recursive search at all.
Okie dokes. Then that's it.
This will actually, so this will be. I don't think we need the. I don't think we need the 0, which would be
Don't need it.
well, would be correct, but I don't think we will really. I think that should be the default because it's 0.
Okay.
And cool. And now we get a list with all, or we get an enumerable with all of the files or file paths that end in .csproj from this directory.
Okay. And we want to check if this list is exactly 1 or more than that.
Mhm.
Right?
Yes.
If this is so how what would be the smartest way to do this? Would it be just to check if it's have we already checked whether it's null?
We don't need to check if it's null because it's a collection,
So
and
then we can just go, yeah.
It's not null. What we get is an enumerable, and if you want to do anything with enumerable, you either for each it, or you do something with link. I think this is the most prevalent use cases. So we could.
And I know what Ekpan in training thinks about this. I think we're gonna have to go with link, right? Link.
Link.
Okay, how do we link it though? What do we do?
So
I don't know anymore.
what do we want to check? Because last time we used any, which returns true if there is at least 1. But what we want is if there is a single 1 in that collection.
Then we want something else. Like what was it with the first and the last and the right? Is that what you
Yes,
said?
but then we get the first or the last. So if we have multiple, we still don't know if there is multiple or not. We just get the last or the first.
Okay.
How do we understand if there is a single?
Oh,
to get if there is one. Yes, exactly.
Oh my god! I should have had the coffee before we started. Woohoo! No, we don't.
And single optionally also you can pass a lambda to that for filtering, but in our case we don't really need that. We can just return this one single element.
Okay.
And then we have that single csproj that we need then in order to pass to our tool.
What happened? Is this one too many?
Yeah, this doesn't compile because single actually returns a type, an instance. So it does not return Boolean. It returns a string. So it returns a file path to that single document in that enumerable. So we can't just put this into an if.
Yeah.
But the single, this is now the.
Can we not just compare it to something and then we can put it in an if?
Yeah, but we don't need to really compare it anymore. We already know that's a csproj. So we did the filtering already. We know it's one single csproj. So we can just use it.
I really want to get my if statement into this. So
there will be one. There will be.
Twice you were like, we don't need this.
There will be. There will be.
Okay, but still something's missing. Probably.
Yeah, because it's a method, so we need the parentheses. And now we can do something with that result.
And
what we want to do is to now pass it to, so what we do here is pass the full name of our project, if we have one. If we don't have any, now we want to pass in the result of this expression to our counting tool, because that returns a string. to the csproj. Because now then our accounting tool will use this project file path and actually load it, open this project via the Roslyn workspaces.
Okay. So do we need to put what? Okay, so wait. So we want to put it here as like the project full name should be now this project, right?
Yes. In the case the project is null. So we now need to differentiate. So if the project is not null, we want to use that. If it is null, we want to use the result from here.
Can I just go like okay, I'm trying something. Can I just go like project is and like override it?
Unfortunately, we can't because this project here is a file info, but the result return here is a
string.
is a
Oh,
string. However, I believe there is an a different method that also returns file infos. There is not. There is
Cast
not.
it.
But we could. Well, we can't really cast it. A string is not convertible to a file info. But what we could do is we could create a new file info, because file info, I believe, has a constructor that does take a. So we now have two possibilities. We either convert the string into a file info, or we do the other way around. We basically change this to just a string and then assert it here.
Okay.
And then pass the string here. There is whatever you prefer.
Do we need the full project at some other point, or can we literally just replace it?
Hold on. That's from the directory info. Okay. Matt Koch is telling us there is actually a way to get a file info, but not via directory.enumerate files, but via a directory info. Okay. So what we can do instead is we don't do directory enumerate files, but before that line, we create ourselves a new directory info instance.
Okay, so what is it like? Okay, let's start directory. No, new.
A new directory info.
Directory info.
Info. Directory
This?
info. Yeah, the I is should be uppercase. If you control space, it should autocomplete.
It doesn't.
Well, there it is. That's the type. And we can pass the directory info now as a constructor that takes the path. So we just pass in the path the current directory that we found. Cool.
Ooh.
Now we have a new directory info, and that directory info we can ask that has similar methods that should have now enumerate files or get files as well with the similar or even same signature parameters.
Enumerate files. Easy. And then.
So we just move that code down and we're good to go.
You mean this code?
Yeah.
Woohoo! Copy pasting. Perfect.
And now this actually returns a file info. So we could now do the overriding, yes. Cool. That's not compatible. And I think we have some bracing. No, hold on. Does enumerate files have different? It has. Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah. We don't need to pass the current directory anymore because that's already contained in the directory info. And I think we have one trading space too much.
Easy. Woohoo! Thank you.
And let's give that a go. Oh, let's run all of the tests, all of the counting tests.
Confident.
And it fails with an invalid operation exception. Let's find out what exactly is happening. A sequence contains no elements. Ooh, okay. So we actually don't have a single.cs approach which support. It's maybe test is not doing what we expect it to create.
Yep.
So let's enumerate. Let's run this code and see what we get. We get empty. Okay, so our current working directory. Let's take a look at that. Ooh, yeah, that is. That's not suitable for our test. This is the current working directory. Well, I guess this would work if we run it from the command line. But the current working directory of the unit test or the integration test is not the current working directory of where we expect, where we have our Scratch file. If you know what I mean.
I know what you mean, but so where is the directory of the test then?
Because the context of because we're running end unit code, that's actually now in our test assembly. So our test assembly /over.tool.cli.tests. This is our current working directory. But what we assumed is we're not running from a test. We assume that we're running from a actual command line where we then would be here. I guess not here, but here where we then have the CS Proj. So I'm uncertain how to best do this if we. Well, I guess we.
You could say, if this is a test, then go to the right directory. But that would be silly, probably.
Can we set the current working directory? I'd heavily. Oh, we actually could. We could set the current working directory in the test. I hope this doesn't mess up anything, like running the test in parallel. I don't know. I never did this, but let's try that. Let's try to call. I guess the most optimal. Yeah.
Okay.
Also, Matt Koch is suggesting to do that. This would be the easiest way. I hope this doesn't mess with.
But we have to do it
in the test, yes. So the test now could set the current working directory and set the assumption correctly.
Okay, so that's
where we do get after we create the project, we do have a project here. This is I called it physical project, which currently has a file, the file info. And this file info, also from that file info, we can get the directory where this file is in, because that's a CS Proj, and can set that as the current working directory.
Okay. So we have to do it after the project was created, is what you're saying, right? Okay, project dot. No, that doesn't work.
So after we create the project, we can call in tool directory.set current directory.
Dot set current.
Where are you? Also.
Oh, I'm in the wrong. Guys, what is going on? My life. Holy Jesus. I'm starting to pray for the first.
There. Okay, the other test.
Yeah,
yes.
Don't expose me. All right, where are we? Here. Am I in the right place? Okay.
Yeah.
Dot set. Current directory. And then we want to set it to what physical. What was it? Physical.
We have it. We should have it in this project. Variable. Oh, I said it wrong. Ooh. Variable. So this should be the file property.
Oh.
And the file property now is a file info. I think that has a directory. Okay, it has a directory and a directory name, where directory name gets a string representing the directory's full path. And the other one is a directory info. So directory name sounds promising.
Let's do it. Whew.
Now this
Um,
could
mhm.
be null, apparently. Okay, this is why we get a nullable warning. Maybe let's suppress that for now. Can you recall how to suppress a nullable warning?
Yes. Yes. It's the. No, I don't. Well, it's either the question mark or the exclamation point, isn't it?
Yes.
I'm not feeling confident today. I'm not feeling confident. I'm probably gonna say the wrong thing. Okay, so listen,
50-50
like
chance.
what is the so the question mark is sort of like, okay, it could be null
Yeah.
person situation. And then I'm gonna go for the exclamation point then.
Or is it the famous question mark, exclamation, 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 yeah, that operator.
Okay.
maybe in C# 13.
Maybe.
So yeah.
I don't know where to put it. So
well, after the after accessing the property. So directory name is the property, and we want to suppress the warning because the directory name is the one that is nullable, but current directory expects a non-nullable string. So we want to set this after accessing the after accessing the
okay.
property.
Okay, but this means after the params, right?
No. Yes. And if this would be null, then we would get a nullable. We would get here this argument null exception immediately. Our test would fail. So this would immediately indicate us that we did something wrong. So I guess in this case, it's fine to just suppress the warning. And this could be good now. And it is. Tests.
Woo!
I'm wondering if we run off the test in parallel. Is still everything good?
Oof.
Looks so.
Yes. Nice.
What Matt Koch is also suggesting, what we could do instead is, making our production code testable. The thing is, directory.get current directory, that's a static method. We can't really exchange that. What we could do is inject some instance. We could call it the IO abstraction. Could be an interface IO abstraction or I file accessor or the I current directory accessor. And the I current directory accessor in the production code is doing the real thing under the hood. And for our test code, we implement our own class for this interface that returns whatever we have returned here in the test case. Does this make sense?
No, I'm not gonna lie. I kind of got you kind of lost me a little bit, but it's fine.
Okay, so what we could have is the I, and then so we injected the I directory current, the I current directory accessor. Okay. Now this interface could be interface I directory, and it basically just does a string get current directory. And then we have two implementations. The production real thing, let's call it system, the system current directory accessor, which implements the interface and does exactly what we expect it to do, return directory dot get current directory. So basically not changing anything. I have a typo. Not changing anything, but basically just hiding this static call behind the interface, where we then can create, for the test, we could now have an implementation of this interface that takes this project here and returns the directory of that, basically doing this call in this interface implementation. And then we now have encapsulated this in production static call behind some interface and can inject, depending if it's production or test.
Yes.
Basically, well, we would basically mock. Well,
That'd
it's
be
not.
good.
it
That'd
would
be
be a
good.
mock. We would replace the real implementation with our mock implementation that is
Yeah.
only working for the test.
Why are we not doing that?
We could. I would say I'll put this on our task to-do list for future cleanup. Avoid set, because set current directory currently works. Good enough for now, but I guess in the future we will have more file I/O operations. So sooner or later it will be very, very handy. So I will put this on. I will create an issue afterwards to create the set current avoid set current directory, replace with this interface.
I think that'd be just really useful, is particularly if we're sort of, making the tool, like extending on the tool and like bringing in new features and new things. It would be like really useful to just be in total control of, the test context, I suppose.
Yes.
So that sounds like a great idea. I love it.
Cool. So we got the first use case done.
Woohoo!
Now it's time. What if there is none? Then we want an error.
He's gonna say he's saying if again, but I know it's not gonna be an if.
Well, now we need an if, because we now need to, because if there is none,
I don't believe you.
if there is none, then now we don't single will throw an exception. I guess perhaps we also change the enumerate files to something else, but let's see where this goes. But sooner or later we will have some sort of an if.
Okay, but don't we need a test first?
Oh yes, indeed. And
I'm learning. See, I'm learning.
we could also use, well, instead of later on, I'm putting this in the note. We could use mock framework instead of writing our own implementation of this I accessor. We could just mock, then have a nice lambda. Is that a lambda? No, but a nice setup. We would have the setup of this interface in our test code, so it is all in one place. And also never trust Stefan. Thank you for input. We will put this in an issue for later. Well, excluding perhaps the never trust Stefan stuff.
I'll put it in the issue. Don't worry.
Damn it.
Cool. Let's do a test to see if I can be in the correct file.
Yes.
Am I here? Am I? Wait. Let me just see. Yes. Perfect. I'm here. Okay. Let's see if I can copy paste today. Probably. Woo! And naming. And we have detect project implicitly. Now, can you wait? So, if there's more than one, is that the scenario that we're doing?
Yes, I would
More
call
than
it
one,
ambiguous. Something with I kind of like ambiguous.
Okay. Ambiguous. I was gonna have like a super long name and be like more than one project detected implicitly. But
you know what? Let's use that. That's super. That is very that is very descriptive. Yeah.
But you liked ambiguous.
Yeah, it's okay.
But you just want to see me like misspell it live.
So well,
Ambiguous. How do you
well, our
spell
practice is a bit ambiguous. Yeah.
Fabulous.
I know if ambiguous. No, that's right. Yes.
Eggplant in training usually knows it. Maybe you can no ambiguous project quantity detected. Sorry, I'm having way too much fun with this. No, but what is actually the scenario? I'm actually unsure.
We match. So we match multiple projects.
Yeah, but like, no, but nice. But thank you for spelling it out, because
it would be
I really need that help. Oh my god! No, stop
ambiguity.
It. This is going too far.
Okay.
Get it off screen. No, not today. Oh my god. English is
ambiguous project match.
Nice. Project match. Yes. Fine.
And the output will be
find all occurrences of. No, wait. What would the output would be? If there are more than one, we want to have like this. Oh, please specify which one, right?
Yeah. No. We actually want, yes, but we end up in an error. because this will be wrong usage.
Oh, because
Perhaps you
it's
know
just
what?
an error.
Yeah,
Is
you know what? Let's
thrown.
let's use your let's
Yeah,
use
what could
your
this?
let's use
Okay,
your explicit let's use your explicit
nice.
statement using more than one, and then we saw in the expected outcome we have ambiguous error. Then we get both our way.
Wow. Okay, that's nice. More than one project. Oh,
Oops, sorry.
detected. Implicitly.
Nice.
Implicitly. Nice. And then, okay, can you show the comment again?
Ambig-
No, ambiguous, ambiguous error?
yeah. So cool.
Nice.
Now we need more than one project.
Oh,
I
wait,
guess
I'm sorry, but like, is it, because that sounds ambiguous error, sounds like the error
the error
is
is
kind of
ambiguous.
ambiguous. So it
Ah,
would
then it's
be
an
ambiguity error,
ambiguity
wouldn't
error.
it?
Yes. Now we do need that word.
We do need the comment. I really do need the comment. I'm not joking. If you're not going to show it again, I'm going to have to go
No.
into the chat.
Okay.
Nice. I'm literally going to copy. Can I copy
There
paste
it
this?
is.
Nice.
But I believe. I believe that's wrong though. But okay, there we go.
Is it really? Oh,
Yeah.
no.
I think it's
Matthias,
ambiguity. I think it's
why?
almost if we do like so. Yeah.
Is that okay? That's actually not too scary.
So it is ambiguity.
Okay.
And well, let's not call it cheating with Google. Utilizing tools.
Yeah. Nice. Utilizing tools. Okay. We
But
still
for
have
that test, we
don't have
we only
project.
have one. Yeah, we only have one project. We don't really care about the documents, so let's just create a project.
need
What we currently
multiple
don't really support yet is setting the name of the project
But we
in
need more than one project.
our builder. So let's create a second project. And let's build an overload for our create project that also takes a project name. I think we already have, let's put it a second parameter to not break anything existing, project name. Let's also make this, let's make this nullable. So it will be null by default. And we would pass this to our physical project builder here. Project name. And eventually we create the project, which is in the initialize. We create the CS project physical document. This is here. Where we also, where do we set the project name? Here. Here's the project name. Oh, we actually have a property for project name that is just. Okay. I think we have anticipated this use case already. We have a with project name extension method that with 0 references. So I guess we can just use. I totally revert what was just done, and we will just use. We just say with. So after creating the project, we say with project name, and that should be good.
With project name, easy, and then we call it. What do we call it?
Something else. Ambiguous project.
Nice. Ambiguous. Project. .cs project or something. Is that what it's called? No.
Yes, but it's a name, so it's a string.
Okay. No, why didn't there not two?
Cool. And I'll just remove the semicolon in order to enable this fluent syntax. we don't really need the project either. I just discard this project here, just doing with an underscore. Well, it's basically the same as just not having it. But with the discard, we basically explicitly say, we notice returned something, but we don't care about it.
Love it.
And oh, perhaps we do. Okay, now we actually do care about
Yeah.
one. We don't care about the second one. So let's discard the second one. Yeah, we do need the directory name. And I believe we should have a failing test.
Are we asserting the correct thing though?
Oh, not at all. Not at all. But it should fail anyway.
Yeah.
Now we have an invalid operation exception, and I'm fairly certain this will be invalid operation exception saying that the single call matched multiple elements. Sequence contains more than one element. There we go.
Nice. Okay, but do we want to like fix the assert just to be?
Yes. So this
Super.
shouldn't. We don't. So in this case, I guess we can again verify that we have an error. One of the extension methods we
Okay.
wrote
So
last time.
well, the error code. Well, it won't be successful. First of all, that's
No.
not the easy part. It will be error. Easy. Great.
Cool.
And okay, and last time we did this last time. My brain is a sieve.
we we have an overload for not empty, but to verify an error exclusively. So we only get an error, and we can assert that. Yeah, we can put anything in our error. Maybe we put in. I think what I took a look at is what the .NET SDK is doing, and it's putting this error. So maybe let's use that, just pasting it in, but without the MS build thing.
Nice.
Just saying specify which project. Well, we don't have the solution yet. This will be a future task. Specify which project file to use because this folder contains more than one project file.
Nice.
Cool.
Okay,
I'll
now
copy this
let's
message as
fix
well. We're
it.
going to need this later. And now let's fix it. Yes.
Oh God.
And yes, this is indeed, I told my teacher I'm using tooling. Yeah, I'm not sure if this counted. Nah, actually, well, did I cheat in school? Once. I was caught though.
Really?
Yeah,
Was
I
it
remember.
bad? Or was it like a test or something? Or was it
It
like
was a Schularbeit. I don't know what that is in English. Yeah.
like a proper exam
Yeah, I obviously
situation?
way too obvious.
What'd you do? What'd you do? Did you like
I
have
put
like
it.
a little?
Oh my god! I put it on a. I had a wooden ruler, and I put some notes on the wooden ruler, and it was.
Okay, like directly onto the wood or like onto a paper?
No. It was on the wooden ruler. Yeah, with a.
That's the mistake because you could have just eaten the little paper. You can't eat a wooden ruler. You can try. I don't recommend it. Not that I have any experience in that. But yeah, okay. See,
Now I don't need to cheat anymore. I just Google stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're more experienced with cheating?
No.
No.
I was never caught, so yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
I mean, yeah, that doesn't. I'm not denying anything, but I'm also not like saying explicitly that I ever cheated because there was no evidence of me. There is no evidence of me ever cheating. So there you go.
And teachers also told us that we can't use calculators because we don't have a calculator all of the time with us. Okay, yeah. Well, that changed. that statement aged poorly.
Yeah, it did. That it really did. Okay.
But what we can't cheat is the brutality of our unit tests, and yeah, they are relentless. So how do we now go about fixing the? So we can't use the single anymore. We need to have a check. Is this exactly one? Then use it. Otherwise, error out.
Yeah. So we can use the single, but we need to pack it into an if statement, right?
No, but single. The thing is, single will throw if there is more than one. What we could
Okay.
do is
Done.
catch that. What we could do is catch the exception,
Ah.
but I'd solve it differently because, well, we are in the same method.
Oh.
Because we have full control over the code we write, and also catching catching exceptions, I think, is not the cheapest. Well, for a tool, it won't matter too much, but it would be more code. It wouldn't be that readable. So I guess
Okay,
the
that's
move now
interesting.
would be perhaps to change from enumerate files to get files to
Oh.
actually now maybe now we could utilize a materialized array because that has the property length. We know the length of a materialized array, and then ask that array certain questions such as, are you exactly one, or are you more, or are you none?
Okay. I have two questions. First of all, do I hear an if statement?
Yes,
No. Yes?
there will be one. Yes, but let's
Okay, but
first get a
not
hold
right
of the
now.
not right now. Let's first get a hold of the array. We will get that via get
That was
files.
get files, yeah.
Then let's
That was my
store these
second question,
files.
though.
Excuse
Yes?
me?
That was my second question.
Yeah.
Um, what
Files.
files? Just files? Do we don't have files? No, we don't. Oh,
I'll get rid of the single here.
yes.
Now it's time to if.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay. Ah, it is. Okay, let's do this. If files dot length is so are we checking if it's 1? And if it's anything, okay, wait. I'm just thinking about
Yeah,
it. What
let's
is this one? Or would it be smarter if to just put if is it like greater than 1 and then throw? Else
we can do that too.
whatever you like.
Let's see where this goes. So we currently have two use cases. One is setting it, more than one is throwing it. So we need to cover both.
Is 1. Is that good? Or should I have the equal?
Since it's not really pattern matching, in this case I do prefer the just equals. But we could write is. It's semantically the same. Doesn't make any difference. Just the code looks differently.
If it's 1, then we want to.
What we had previously is then set it to the project. Because currently we still have the nullable warning here because we could end up in a path where it is not null. Now, where it is null.
Okay. Is it file? Is that the same? It is the same. It's just a different name, isn't it? It's not the same.
Well,
Because
files currently.
because it's not a file info. Because it's not a
Well,
file
it
info.
is. It is a file
It
info,
is?
but it's an array of file infos.
Ah, okay. So it's on like the.
Are we 0 or 1
but
based? Our indexes.
It's what
Indexes.
0.
Indices.
If it's 1, I'm just thinking if I need to sort of like find it, or if I can just like hard say on index 0.
No, that's perfect.
It's perfect, but it's
Yeah.
not perfect because it's.
Well, it's not because it's files, not file.
Oh, there you go.
So now we start the previous functionality, but what if we have more than one? Or 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Just like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, and then you can put it into a one-liner. Throw something, right?
Yeah, let's throw. I think we throw invalid. Let's throw an invalid operation exception. We do have a.
It doesn't autocomplete.
A task to. Is it not?
No.
Should be. And.
And that's why you copy.
Still left. Yes, indeed. I'll just hit Control V, and let's run the test. Let's run the tests because all of them should pass. No, they don't, because Okay, it actually also, the message also includes the unhandled exception thing. So perhaps we go with a contains instead, rather than
Yeah.
verify error,
Yes.
if
Sounds
you don't
good.
mind. So let's see, change this to a contains. But I think our contains, okay, expects both an output and an error. So let's use the error, assuming that the output is actually empty. I think the output should be, because now we assert both that the output is empty, but we do have an error. That should do the trick. And it does. Cool.
Nice.
Now we have one more use case when we have no project at all.
Okay. Let's write a test.
Yes.
Count.
Just
What?
getting a hold of what MS.NET Build is doing. Yes.
Okay. So
Yes.
no project.
Mhm.
Ambiguity error. So this is sort of like we just put in count. We don't specify project. Then it looks for a project
Yeah.
and it still doesn't find one.
Yes.
Nice.
And then we don't have to disambiguate, but put anything at all because there's nothing. I'm again posting the error from .NET Build in here and removing the specifier project or solution file. The current working directory does not contain a project file. We'll also need that later. So now we basically just get rid of that. We don't have a project file at all.
How
But
we get
we still need to set a current
directory?
working directory. I'm not certain, but I think we do have maybe we have anticipated this case as well. I have a feeling.
Nice. Well
We
done.
derive we do derive from integration tests, and we do have a directory info for the Scratch directory. And the Scratch directory, that will be, or is it the Scratch? This should be our, yes, this will be our directory that we build up. So we have here our working directory basically, but we don't really expose that yet, I think. So let's add a property, like those properties that we have. Let's add a protected property that we can then access in the test that exposes the Scratch directory.
Okay. Hope I'm in the right place. Protected.
Let's see what that is. That is currently, that's a directory info.
Directory info. And we call it directory info.
We could call it directory or Scratch directory or current directory.
I like Scratch. And okay.
I will now complain about capitalization, won't I?
I'm sorry. I literally, the IDE told me as well, though, and then I immediately changed it.
I'll go ahead and remove this field here because we now change this into a property and just replace all usages via this new replace all. Cool.
Is that new? Is it?
Is that new? The replacing?
Oh, yeah.
No.
Is that what he said? Okay. Sorry, misunderstood.
I'm not sure. Excuse me?
No, I think I misunderstood you. Because you said this is
okay,
new,
okay.
I'm going to replace it by this new blah, blah, blah. But
Well,
I think you meant, yeah.
So we now have a property. We don't have the field. We don't use the field anymore. We change it with a property. And now we have the Scratch directory available for use in our test. So we can now say, let's see what Scratch directory has in store for us to get the name of it.
Okay, cool. So wait. Oh, Scratch. No, we have to go to whatever.
No, should be. We are in scope because we derive from the
I
type
see.
that has the property. It's protected. It should be accessible. Yeah, and I think it should have something like name. Full name sounds promising.
Ah, yeah, there it is. Full name.
And let's give the test a
Easy.
go. And what do we expect now? Potentially some null exception because no, we don't. We should get a different error that we expect. If the test is stuck now.
Love it. Because it keeps on looking. No.
Let's support it and run it. Do we have something bad? No, there we go. Okay. Maybe I just missed the... so we have the messages that we get specify... we still get the message, this folder contains more than one project file. But we expected a different error. We expected does not contain a project file. So now we need to handle this different case and throw a different exception or use a different message.
Okay. So basically, so because it's not 1, because it's 0,
Yeah,
it throws this exception.
exactly.
Okay. Okay, so this means there's an else if, or is that really basic and tiring? And is there
I would. This is how I would write it.
Okay.
We can refactor later. First, let's get the test screen.
Else if. No, is that together? No.
That's right.
One. Is it C that has like some other language writes it?
L if there is something, yeah.
Yeah.
But since we have an if, we
Yes.
again need a condition.
And the condition is files dot length is 0.
Cool. And
I love your face when you watch me like write if statements. It's great.
I'll paste in the. Oops, no, that got lost. So let's copy the new message, paste it in, and use it there, and see if all the tests agree now.
No.
It's not because the process cannot access the file because it is being used by another process.
Ooh.
Interesting.
That is strange. Okay.
And it's consistent. But it's not a file, it's a directory. Okay, where's this going on? Well, I guess if I only run one, it won't work. Oh, it does. The process can access the file.
Can't dispose it.
Process. Oh, I think, there is some, we delete, but it's still in use because we set the working directory. Ooh, okay. We set the working directory to, what we have here is if the scratch directory is empty, we clean it. But we only do it if it's empty. However, I think it's related to the working directory, since we set the working directory. And since the working directory is now set to something that, well, it's in use. So the working directory is somewhere in use in the current process, but now we try to delete it, that won't work. So we get either get rid of this code or quickly fix. I want to give it a try to.
Yeah, because we want to dispose as much as possible, right? So we don't
we do have. We don't really clean directories if there is files in it generated in order to later on discover and basically debug the test. What we do have as a cleanup is via our build configuration. Via nuke, we do have a clean target.
If you've not been there for that episode, that's the website with the very cool
Rocket.
rocket. It's so cool. And it has a
So-
different animation on mobile view.
We do have a clean target, which then deletes the directory. So we do have cleanup code. Maybe we just get that did indeed crash earlier than expected. I think we just get rid of this code, then it's empty. Who cares?
Okay.
It's for consistency, but I still want to confirm my theory that it's related to the working directory being in use. So if I will remove it afterwards. Let's say current equals directory.get current directory. And just after the test, so we set it, run our test, and then at the end for the cleanup, we should do it maybe here, change it back to the original working directory.
Wow.
And let's see if that passes. Yeah, that passes now. So it is related to the current working directory, but let's just get rid of that. And also, if we would implement this I accessor, we will implement this later, then we don't need to care about this either, because we don't overwrite the current working directory. We just mock this one invocation, so it will be fine. But for now, let's get rid of that code, and I'll put this into the issue, into the mock current directory testing issue with mock.
Nice.
Cool. And we have now implemented that our count using tool will use the single CS purge that we find in our working directory.
Copy paste that into the globalizer now.
Yes, we will do that, but perhaps let's go to a different issue.
Yeah.
And we'll do this off stream, just copy paste basically. But there is one question that, since Metcalf is also suggesting that, this is a very common pattern, having like empty single multiple. He did build a extension method single or default or error in the code base. I'm not thinking if we could simplify that. Well, instead of the explicit length equals, well, no, we can't really do that. Well, we could replace this with an any or not any, but I think that's fine. Now, because you mentioned to replace this basically in a single call, what we could fancify it a little bit, and I'm thinking about the new C# 11 feature now. This is total overkill, but I want to give it a try.
Not overkill, fancify.
Fancify. So project equals, we switch on the files, hoping to do, okay, I haven't used list patterns too much, but if we only have one in there, we could say var file here. And in the case it's one and only one, we return that file actually, because we pattern match that. And otherwise, if we have 0 elements, we throw this. And if we have, and else, all the other cases will be, I'll go for it in a second. I think this should work. Let's give that a try. It does work. Okay, so that's
I love
that's
it.
new. This is a new C# 11 feature, list patterns, where you basically, this is saying we define one variable here, and it also matches the length. So if there is one and only one, it puts that string, or no, it's not a string in our case, it's a file info, puts that file info in this variable, and then we just return it. If we have an empty list or an empty collection, we throw this one arrow, and all the other cases, in our case, if there is more than 1, because we covered 1 and 0 here, then we throw the ambiguous exception. And what you could also do in the pattern matching, if you don't care about the element, but basically want to say if it's 1 and only 1, but you don't care about it, you can write an underscore here, basically a discard. This is now only matching the length if it has the length 1, but we don't extract the element. So what we could then, and then we could have patterns like, I don't know, first, if it was a string, let's use the get, how's it called? Get, no, that's the files. So if this, if this was a string, then this would work. For example, this pattern matching now would check, does it have 1, 2, 3 elements? And is the second element matching the string first? Well, it should be second in this case. And if you don't care about the number, you can also use the range operator. This now basically says at least 2 elements, where the second element should be the string second, but any other number of elements. So it could be 2 or more. And this is how you can build list pattern matching.
Love it.
And again, I misspelled variable. I need to go back to school. Mispronounced it. Yes, I need to get back to school. Maybe I should write the pronunciation on a wooden ruler.
Yeah. What were the other words? Salmon.
Is this
and what did we learn last time as well?
Salmon. That variable. Alias. I think those are the common mistakes.
Yeah.
And I called it range operator. I don't think it's it may be called rest operator. I'm actually uncertain. I guess it is rest rest sounds. I guess it is rest because you can't have multiple. If you have multiple rest operators, it doesn't work. Slice pattern may only use once. Okay, so it's, I guess, the rest operator matching the slice pattern. Thanks for that. I love using the right lingo, but I don't like pronouncing it correctly. Do indeed, we need a cheat sheet for common mispronunciations. We will lead with that in the next episode, I guess, to keep practicing it. I'll note that down. Cheat sheet. Pronouncing cheat sheet. Okay, cool. So do you like the fancified version?
Yes, I really like it.
Fancified version.
That's exactly what I was waiting for when I was doing my
So decided to turn it into a one-liner.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess we could also have it like this. Maybe this makes it more like readable. We first match if it's 0, 1, rest. Well, I think we could make it also explicit and do the rest operator here. Would be the same. Yeah, maybe like so.
Yeah, that's right.
Cool. No. Matt Koch is suggesting happy path first. Happy path first.
Oh. Fair enough.
Okay, let's run a test again. See if still everything is green indeed, and then we will copy paste it to the adopt it for the other and implement it for the other thing as well. Maybe there is, I guess, perhaps we can reduce some code duplication. But let's jump to the next issue that we still want to implement for the next preview release. I think this was 2 episodes ago or 3. We also wanted to enable, because currently we count all of the usings, but we want to enable counting some of them. And let's start implementing that. For that, we need to go on a tool level, on a core level first, because this will be our core implementation. Basically, our counter now also should take, similar to our globalizer, because our our globalizer not only takes a project, it also takes a local using. But what we need for the counter is basically the same, but having it as an array. So we have a string array of the local usings that we want to count. And I guess now it's time to implement this. And I guess first a test.
Yep.
So let's jump to our core test project, to our counter test. Okay, now a lot of stuff is failing, of course.
Ooh, yeah.
So perhaps let's design this non-breaking. We can only have a constant expression here. Do we set it to null? If it isn't set, and null meaning all. So we don't break anything.
Yeah. Sounds good. That works.
Cool, then I guess let's add a new test.
Okay. Oh, wait. Can you scroll to
Maybe
the
let's
bottom? Because I have
bottom.
the cancellation token is not compiling.
Because we don't, well, I guess, yeah, here we need to explicitly pass it because it can't, well, unless we say cancellation token here with a named argument. Now it knows how to fill the one in the middle. Position, it won't work positionally. Because what we can't do is positionally, we can't pass the second default argument, but not the first one. So positionally, it would expect this one first. So it's now a type mismatch. But we are named arguments explicitly tell them to use the right one.
Okay. And so when I copy paste the test, you probably don't want me to copy paste any of the.
Let's use a simpler one that has multiple usings in it. So perhaps that one sounds, the count async multiple usings. If you don't mind, I'll just grab that because I already got it. And let's start from here.
All right, let's start with naming. So, wait, multiple usings. Wait.
Yeah, that's still the old name. So our scenario now would be how do we call it when we tell the tool which usings to count?
Prompt multiple usings? No.
It's not really a prompt, because a prompt would be halting the command line application and asking for input. I guess this would be more of a prompt.
That is.
Well, we are passing it in the command line. We are passing command line arguments. So maybe pass usings explicitly. Somehow I'm so set on explicitly and implicitly.
Multiple usings explicitly. Nice.
And
finds multiple occurrences. Should it be finds all occurrences or something like that?
Finds specified occurrences.
Why specified?
The ones that we tell it to find.
Easy. Okay, cool. And
which ones do we want to pass from these?
To pass first three.
Let's do the first three. So the result then should be those three, right?
Yes.
And now let's pass those three over here.
Okay, so project, then in strings, right?
Yes.
I'm gonna copy paste.
Well, we don't pass the using keyword. We just pass the name, the identifier of those declarations.
This is system collection. Oh my god, please Please, everybody, like take a sip of water or do something. Don't watch me copy paste my life away, please. It's it is painful even for me. So, oh my god, we need a jingle for this as well. We need some
Copy
elevator
paste
music.
jingle.
We need something. Um,
Why does this not compile?
it does not compile because there is no overload for method count takes 4 arguments.
So we're
Because
passing
this
couples.
should be an array.
Exactly.
Oh no. Um, right. So okay. I mean, I'm gonna do it horribly. I was gonna do like this and then like fill it with um this one, but that's
Mhm.
probably not good. Is it not?
No,
Is it
it's
good?
actually it's halfway. You're halfway there.
Halfway there, probably a new keyword or something.
That is exactly how it is.
Woohoo! Easy.
And since we have strings here, the compiler could infer the string keyword here. So we could also just say new if you prefer it. Or we say explicitly
Yeah.
string, both is fine, whatever you prefer.
No, let's do a new, and that's what I do every single time, but I forget which one of those I can
Hmm.
I don't need. But yeah, it makes sense as the string because they're all strings in the array afterwards. But yeah,
Now let's give that a go and
but
see where our test hopefully
the thing is, I have to do it like
fails.
10 times incorrectly before it's like set in my brain. Like the
Ah,
last
yeah.
3 times you've already corrected this, and I was like, oh yeah, you corrected this before.
But
But yeah,
it's not
next time maybe.
it's not really a correction. It's style basically because it's the same. But yeah, I guess I'd need 400 times correction of pronouncing alias correctly. I did this pause again. Every time I pause, I don't know how to pronounce it. So we do expect only 3 of them, but we get all of them.
Okay.
So we have a failing test. Now we can implement it nicely. Also, I guess if we would actually we should run all of the tests, shouldn't we? Because we may have broken stuff. No, we haven't. Huh. So because we don't, no, because we don't use it at all. Yeah, of course not. Okay, cool. Let's go to the. That's not the counter. Using counter.cs. There it is. Now let's use this array here.
Let's
And
do that.
perhaps walk through the code. So we first check if it's not C#, then we throw. We check the compilation. We check for generated code. And if it isn't generated code, we actually do aggregate the usings. And here we now go through all the usings and check whether they are aliases or statics or globals, and then we increment them. And I believe this would be the entry point.
Okay,
So
does that mean we
basically,
need to do another for each?
no, potentially we could,
But
but
you
maybe
know,
there's a
there's a better
let's see.
bigger.
I'm not sure yet, but we'll figure this out along the way. So basically, what we need to guard is this adding this identifier if it is not contained in the collection. I guess I'm using the words already. If it's not contained, yeah. So what we want to do is also pass this array here. So let's say string array local usings here. And let's start using it.
I know I have to somewhere put contains, but that's
Yeah.
cool. All right, so we've got um, okay for each user
Pasting the name.
using node in. He's already doing it. Great. What was that? Was that a hint? If it's a hint,
No,
I'm
no, no,
not getting
no,
it.
no, 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 no. Just pasting the name here that we see
Okay.
it.
So if
So
they are none of these, then we get the identifier using not named string, and then we result dot increment or add
yeah,
identifier.
And we need to guard this check. This check should only be run if
Yes.
the if that identifier is contained in the usings that we would like to count.
Ah. Local usings dot contains identifier. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, what happened? Oh yeah, nothing. Sometimes I autocomplete and then everything's all over the place, and I'm very worried about everything. There you go.
Cool. And now we need to
Easy.
pass the local usings here. So let's pass them here. I think we passed them at the end. Local usings. What I did do create now is a bit of a problem because we do get them in as nullable, but here we expect non-nullable. And I'm connecting here to a comment that Matt Koch is suggesting to localize this local usings up there, the nullables, with an empty array if they are null, in order to get rid of the null so that we don't need to do null checks and be null safe.
What?
Basically
So we
doing-
should initialize it, but not up here. While
we
saw
could also
it.
we could also do it in the beginning of the method. We could also do it here. So what we can't do is say like array.empty here. We can't do that because array.empty, that's a method invocation that's not constant. Also, we can't say new string array. That's also like empty string array. This doesn't work because this is not a constant expression. So we have to null here. But what we could do is perhaps even in the first line of the code, basically setting if it is null, assign it to an empty string, an empty array.
And why did you opt to not put it at the top? Is that like style, or is it
wherever? Wherever. I kind of tend to have it here because this is the first time where we use it to keep that local. And also if we early out somewhere, then we don't really need to do that work. So I kind of like to do it as when needed.
okay? So before aggregate usings, is this an if check?
Yes. And then I'm afraid I will show you a shorthand version of that.
No.
Well, you can't know it.
Is it like, okay, but is it like inline? Like, can I somehow do it by changing just something here?
Yes, you can do that as well.
Okay, I will
There is a
find out.
null. I always forget
I
the
will
name.
find out.
What's the operator? That's an operator. Null coalescing operator. I think it's called the null coalescing operator that you can use if the left-hand side of the expression is null, then the right-hand side will be evaluated. Otherwise, the right-hand side will be ignored. Oh, yeah, you got it.
It's double. Yeah.
Yeah.
But is it? But now we can do new.
Yeah.
New string. Right? No.
Yes, but we need to.
We need the
if we don't, either we do that, or we just we explicitly. So because here now the compiler is inferring the length of the array from empty, which is 0, or we can explicitly set it to 0 and then don't need the braces.
Okay. And something about the new, he also says we don't need.
Yes, because it's suggesting because what we do here, we create a new string array that is empty. The thing is, there is an optimization for that to use what it's actually showing. So I'm just pressing Alt Enter and say use the empty array. The thing is, this is now actually an optimization. So behind the scenes, this has having a static version of this generic array, in our case a string. So it's only initialized one because a 0 length array is always 0 length. So we can use the same instance to the 0 length array in multiple locations of our code and avoid creating multiple 0 length array that have no semantic difference. Unless we do reference equality check, but we shouldn't do that really. And yeah, this is how we now should get our test to green. But we may have broken all
Oh.
of the other tests
Nice. Hopefully.
because some other tests now say we expected some usings,
Yeah.
but we got none.
Why?
Do you know why?
I do not.
The thing is now, because if we don't set it explicitly, we have an empty array, which should mean that we use all of them. But what we actually do is we filter by this empty array. So we now have a problem of filtering all of them so we don't do anything. So what we need to do is, if basically the implicit one, if we don't explicitly set anything, this using array will be empty. And if it is empty, we don't want to do the filtering. We only want to apply the filtering if there is anything contained in that array.
Okay. So is that another if statement?
We could nest a statement, or we combine the condition with another condition
That seems smart.
in the existing if.
Okay. Wait. Okay, what is it? If it contains the identifier, or if no. Yes. Or if the array is empty, right?
Let's give it a try.
Pipes. Sorry, local using, right?
Local usings, yes.
Is null. Is null? Is empty.
We basically don't have it to null again. If you want, we could bring the null back and do a null check. It's having the same effect actually. We could also do that if we prefer the null. We could say, okay, it is allowed to be null. We could also do the null check.
Okay. Is that better or worse?
It is null. Yes. The thing is now, we still get the nullable warning because we do the null check here, but what if it's null in here?
Okay, so we need to put it in front.
Yes, indeed. Yes.
Fabulous. Okay, let's just do it like this. And then pipes as well. Copy pasting all the pipes. Woohoo! Nice.
And now the warning goes away because if it is null, then we do this. Otherwise, if it's not null, we do the contains check. That means we don't need that null coalescing operator here anymore. And running all the tests should fail with flying colors. Actually, with one color, green. And it does. Let's run the entire test assembly just to be sure. And yes, this episode is called To If or Not To If.
So true. So true.
Cool. Now we need an integration test, of course. And this will be because we still need to integrate this into our system command line logic. Let's close all of that. Go to our CLI tests. Do we have a build error? Shouldn't. Oh, yes, we do.
Ooh.
Oh, yes, we do, because, we still need to implement the production side. Let's start with a test. Not compiling. So not compiling is a failing test. So we got, never mind. Tests here. I will briefly just copy this big example down here. Can you recall how we called the scenario? I can't.
No, I have no clue.
Kind of would like to use the same name to keep these, to use the same phrasings. And we globalize multiple using. Okay, so let's do the same example. Let's add one document because that will suffice for our example. And we will, hold on. I am in the globalizer. That's wrong.
Yep.
excuse me, there is the using counter. There we go. And we only want to create one document because that will suffice. Again, let's make that a bit more concise. And we would like to pass. Now, let's do the same example. Let's take the first three, right? So let's pass system. Let's pass system
But
collections
it's not.
generic.
Oh no.
And let's
here we can do
pass system link.
single strings. Cool.
Yes, because here we basically just pass strings. This is just a string array. And now we expect to have the first three counted, but not the rest.
Okay, and they should be 1, right? Because you want to.
And no, still successful.
No, but
no,
system, like the occurrences.
Absolutely. Yes, very good. I totally forgot the name again.
Don't you have it in your clipboard?
No, I overwrote. So hold on. Visual Studio has a copy paste history, so perhaps you can use that. But I totally forgot the shortcut. Is this Control Shift V? Oh yes, it is. And this one, right? Cool. I think this is the first time I used this actually.
Yeah, I make a lot of copy paste mistakes, so I'm using it. I'm using it a lot.
Oh, we still don't compile because we now expect it to pass a collection here. So I guess what we now want to do is also to pass it here. So to say string array usings, pass them, forward them to here. But now, do I make a mistake? I forgot a comma. Yes. And now where we call this, we will have an error because we don't pass them here. What is the order? We have first the fakes. So we need to pass the usings here. Just doing an underscore here. We need to pass the usings here. So how do we get them? We need to get them since those are what we designed in the test. Those are arguments that we pass. So this is a command, subcommand, and this will be the arguments. Very similar to our globalizer. Because the globalizer, we actually pass usings here. And let's take a look at what we do there. In the globalizer, we ask for the argument. So we don't have an argument yet for the using. We still need to use the using argument. We need to pass that as well to our using command. So our count command, because the count command currently only has project options. But we also need to create, similar to the globalizer, we also need to pass an argument for this command. So let's create a new argument that we will pass to this new command, to this existing command.
Okay. And sorry, where do I have to do it? Just anywhere? I'm so confused with the.
I guess anywhere before adding them. Here is fine. Yeah.
For adding. Oh yeah. Okay. Wait. This one. Right. Yes. Okay. So wait. I'm sorry. My brain. It's late.
Okay.
But okay. So we've got commands and we've got arguments, and I'm a little bit confused.
Yeah.
So we have argument to pass to a command. What's the argument? The array of usings.
Exactly.
Correct. Okay. So what is it called? Using array? No. What is it called? What is it called?
We can call it just the usings, or we call it usings argument.
Using argument. Argument. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And this would be a new argument.
A new argument. No, that's not. Oh. Interesting. What is happening? Sorry. Argument. Easy.
And this is a generic, or there is a generic version of it where we can pass in the type that we expect of this argument.
Type. We expect it to be of a type string
So
array.
what? Yes, exactly.
Okay. Okay. Easy. String array. Right. Okay.
Just for the rest, I'll go to our existing command and copy because to have something similar here as well, to use a similar description. So the name of this will be usings because it's multiple. And it will be the names of the top level using directives to count, so that we get this also in the tool as a hint. And now all we need to do is to add this argument to our count command.
Can I just do it like that? No.
I don't think there is an overload that takes multiple. No, there isn't. We need another invocation.
Okay. Another invocation. Count command dot add. And
Cool. And now we should be able to extract them in our handler. We should now be able to, similar what we do here with the path result, we say get value for option. We should now be able to get value for argument, pass in the argument, extract our string array, and forward it, and we are good to go.
okay. Okay. To forward it, I would have stored it in like a variable.
Yeah.
But I'm running out of names. Using
I think in here we have usings. We can use usings.
oh, that's not usings. Usings is using argument.
We need to get a hold of the result via the context, like in line 31.
Easy.
Because the context will hold the parse result, and we can ask the parse result for the result for this argument to extract it.
Get value is like up there, right? Get value. No?
It's almost like there, because that's it. Because we get value for the argument and I forgot the name already. Usings argument. Using argument. What do we call it? Using argument.
Easy.
Cool. Now we have the usings, and oops. Let me just rename the using, because actually usings argument, because we had an ambiguity. And now we have the string array here and should just be able to forward it to our method, and everything should fall in line. No, is this English? Everything should just work. Let's try it. Let's run all of the tests. We still have a build error.
Nice.
Oh, yes, I didn't rename
Sorry.
everything. No, that was my bad. Oi.
Oh, okay.
We don't.
Rotten in the state of Denmark.
Yes. Ooh, yes. Because we don't. The problem is something is rotting in the state of Denmark. I never heard this.
Yeah, because we haven't been to the theater.
Aye.
It's part of Hamlet.
Okay.
Like, to be or not to be.
So Denmark isn't doing so good.
Not in Hamlet, no.
Not in Hamlet.
No. I love Hamlet. I went to the castle. That's also because it's sort of set in a real Danish castle, and it's really cool. I recommend you go if you find your way to Oh my god, I forgot what the town was called. Anyway, never mind. Something's rotten in the state of Denmark.
Now, you mentioned theater. That reminds Ekman in training of Turn It Off, which is one
Like
of
a
the
light
songs.
switch.
Yes!
Book of Mormon. Great show. Great show.
Okay, this will be the catchy tune for the rest of the night in my head, and I will wake up to that in the morning. I'm fairly certain.
You should put it as your alarm clock. That would be funny.
But what if? But then I just turn it off,
Yeah.
and then I oversleep.
I don't know, but that's what you do with your alarm clock, isn't it? Or do you just leave it running for the rest of the day?
Yes, I turn it off, but I need to wake. I actually need to get up. Yeah, I snooze sometimes, so I do a snooze
Yeah.
once. But if I
have-
turn it off immediately, no, okay,
I have
it
3
could work.
alarms and I snooze them all. So I'm one of those people. If it's like important, I have more than 3 alarms. If it's like a flight or something.
Ooh, yes.
Okay, but how do we? What? Sorry.
So the thing is now for existing tests where we actually expect something to be counted, we don't count anything. The problem is I made a wrong assumption previously with the null thing. So I'm passing null, but we never get null because if we don't pass any arguments, the string array will be empty. So null is not an option, which means that in our production code, let's jump to it. Well, we still have this as a default, but I will revert to what we had earlier. In that if it is null, we do create an empty array. Make this non-nullable. And now we need to exchange the null check with length check, because even if we don't set any arguments, we will get an array of length 0.
Okay. Dot length is 0.
And if we have length 0, we will add it. If we don't, which means above, because length cannot be negative, then we see if it is in there. And
Nice.
now I'm fairly certain. Let's run all of the tests again.
I'm
Like a line
okay.
switch.
I'm not gonna... If it's all green, I'll be super impressed and I'm gonna give you a compliment, but only if it's green.
There we go.
Yay! I'm so impressed how you can like sort of like like literally, if you ask me what the first like line of code is that we wrote in this stream, I will not remember. And you don't only remember that, you also like are able to sort of spot where the error happened. So that's really cool. That's really
Well, I can't
impressive.
recall the first line either. I guess it's just I made a lot of null/empty related mistakes. Experience. You will get there undoubtedly. Now what I want to check, if we do .NET Tool help, that's not .NET Tool help. That's of course we need to run it because we haven't published it yet, so it will be a bit of a .NET run -f 0 count usings. Yes. If we --help, we should get an updated help. Maybe let's pass also the using command. And I guess also the using count command. Now we go. And we see, okay, this is not a new argument. We didn't have this before. The names of the top level using directives to count. And we can now optionally, can I restore the using count dash? Oh, we don't need to pass a project anymore either. Let's give that a try as well. Some test. Let's go to this project. However, what you need, because we haven't published the tool yet, we still need to navigate to the location of the tool in order to run it.
Yeah.
So this will be in tools. Push over tool. This will be here, the CS project. So we do .NET run. on this project. We set the net 7.0 framework, and we pass count. Let's make that bigger. We pass using count. Let's see if we are right. Passing the help. No. Unable to run the project. Should you run a project type of .NET run supports this project? The one project to target. That's interesting. Why is that? This should be quite runnable. That's an exe. Oh, no. Does this not? Does this not work? Can we not? .NET run -- help. Ah, that's not an argument. That's not an argument. We need to do the -- project now on the .NET run. Okay, .NET run also has, if we want to explicitly pass a project, because we're now in a different working directory. So we do .NET run -- project. Now do this pass to this project here. Okay, select the correct framework. We want to write in 7.0. Pass to it. Now what we pass to the command will be our using count -- help. Now this should work. And indeed, and now we should be able to count all of the usings without explicitly passing the project. It should now implicitly take it from the current working directory. And our current working directory is here. So it should take the flashover.tool.core CS project, and it does indeed, and count all of its usings. And what if we only want to count system text usings, which should be exactly one? We pass system.text, still passing no project because we are in the current working directory. And now we should only get a single using, and we do indeed.
Cool.
Well done. So what we also now basically again do a little bit of copy pasting and applying the same logic. Oh no, hold on. That's a different issue, because this would be the third and final issue that we would like to implement before adding for the next pre-release, which is because currently we allow to globalize only one using. What we would like to do to allow globalizing multiple usings. And also, if we don't pass any using, if we pass empty, then we want to globalize all of the usings. But that we definitely only do if the force flag is on, because this could change a lot of code.
Yeah.
Do you, considering that we are already on time, do you still have some time, or should we skip the tests? We will definitely add the tests later before pushing the feature, and we basically scheme a little bit through the production code and see what we would do, and then later do this on stream with proper testing, and then announce when we have the next version published. How does this sound?
That sounds like a plan. I like it.
Cool. Okay. So we need 2 new features. First, assuming we have a test, going to our tool. This will be here. What we have already is our using argument, which is just a singular string. So what we will be doing is basically remove that, because we already created the using arguments, the string array for our counter. So we'll just be reusing that, and now adding the usings argument as well, which means in our handler of the globalizer, we can just use this and now get our local usings string array right here. But we haven't really implemented this in the global usings, so I guess here as well we need to change this into a, sorry, oops, that's the wrong one. Here, this will be now local usings. and we pass them through. We basically just change all the singular strings to string arrays to properly pass them through. Oops, local usings. And yeah, okay. We won't get all to compiling now, but just to see what we would change. And then we are down there, pass them here as well, because we now, again, we do similar code checking if this is generated code or not. And when we found out it's not generated code, then we start globalizing. Now we have our local usings. And oops, hold on. I moved to the wrong method. I wanted to move here. Yes. Now also change this to a string array. And yeah, now we want to implement that if, because what we do here, we basically assumed for now we only globalize this one using. So what we need to change this code to is basically something similar we did earlier. So if we need to check if it is contained in our collection, and if it is contained, then we want to globalize that. So a very similar if check. Would you like to build that?
Yes, I would like that. Very similar if check. So, okay, if it's... Can you repeat it? So we need to just adapt this if check, right? We don't need to write a new one. And I'm going to
so what
start
we want, check if, also only globalize, because current logic is only globalize this single using, but what they do only globalize usings that are contained in the array.
I didn't need to start at the beginning. I was just like being worried about the null thing as well. But in this case, we can just start here, right? Yeah. No? Are you? No?
Well, so local using is now local usings, and this is a collection.
Oh, so we don't have a single one or a
Yes,
collection.
yes.
I
Yes.
get it. I have.
We now only have a collection.
I am with you again. Local usings contains. Contains. And then
this is what you remove. This is the name. This is the name of the using node.
Using node. Okay. Using node.name. Is that a thing?
Yeah. And using node.name is a token, I believe. And no, that's a syntax. That's a name syntax. So we need to two-string that. Yeah.
Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Okay, that was not as easy as, well, it is, okay, it's fairly simple now, but, you know, like the logic in my head was sort of like tearing, like, I don't know. I was thinking, I think a little bit, never mind. I was thinking in the wrong direction, I believe. Okay, but still something's happening because...
But that, excuse me?
There's
Also, I think there is a bracing error. I think we just need one closing. Oh, yeah. And now we check if it's contained, and only do this if it's actually contained. So we get all of them. I'm not searching if we have, because here is our loop. Here's our for each loop. And I'm searching if we have a return, if we early out this loop potentially too early. We go to all the usings, and yeah, we don't return, so we just keep going and keep checking if it is contained. So technically, maybe there is some super corner case our tests now should show. We'll do this later. But technically, this is now working, and basically, we if it was compiling, we now implemented that we could globalize multiple usings. Now let's also do the other case. What if we don't, if this collection, if the using is empty, if the user doesn't pass anything, now we want to globalize all of them.
Okay, that sounds like it.
But only if the force flag is set. Now let's do a little bit of a shortcut. Let's assume, because we need to pass them all through, let's assume we have the force, we have figured out the force flag here. So let's say bool is forced. I just say default. But let's assume we have the is forced flag already in scope. So let's globalize all usings.
Okay.
If no usings are explicitly passed and command is forced.
Okay, I know. Okay, this sounds like an if, to if or not to if check, but I'm not entirely sure how I can sort of say globalize all. Can I do that? I don't know. I don't have.
Well, it's actually very similar to, because the behavior should be similar to our using counter, it will be a similar check for our globalizer as well. So we check what is the state of the array if we haven't passed any using explicitly through the command. What's the state of the array then? What values does the array have?
None.
Exactly.
Right.
So we again can do the length 0 check.
Oh, okay, got it. Oh no. But okay. So we do the length check here, but then we have to do something different. We can't
With
do
the
them
forced?
both in the same if.
Yes, we can.
Really?
We can logically combine Boolean expressions with the and and or.
Okay.
And or.
Okay. I'll just. I think I didn't phrase my question very well because my brain stopped working. But okay. I'm gonna write this quickly, and then I'm gonna have a million questions.
Okay.
Okay. So what I understand that I'm supposed to do right now is if local usings is no dot length is 0.
Yeah.
Length is 0. But this is still an or, not an and, because that doesn't make any sense. And then how do I get the and in here?
So let's take a brief look at the counter. So now what we have, that should be very similar. So in the top is the globalizer, bottom is the counter. We basically, if the length is 0, we just do it. Now we have the same logic. If we don't pass anything, we globalize regardless. But if there is anything in it, then we do a contains check. So we do have the same logic, but we still want to do the forced check because this will change a lot. So if the length is 0, we only want to do it if also forced is enabled.
Oh, can I? Oh, that's what you said before, and I just didn't. So I can literally just do this? Nice. I didn't know that. Okay. Learn something new. I probably did know this at some point. This is sort of like,
you could have an infinite combination of logical expressions and combine them freely.
No, but how do I get there now? I have to go to the input stuff.
Well, we will do that later. Let's assume we have it already.
What did you call it?
Is forced. Is forced.
Oh, what happened? That's not what I wanted. Is true.
Just fixing the typo. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Now
there you go.
what I'm not entirely certain now is the precedence. So what is evaluated first? I think the end is here evaluated first, or that. So I think this would actually work. I'm not entirely sure though, because what we want to state is that basically those two belong together. So if the length is 0 and is forced, then globalize it. If it's false, then this is the expecting factor. So we wanna group them together.
Is
No, no,
that
no.
an option?
I would.
Uh,
Yes, but now we always. It doesn't make a logical difference.
okay.
It only makes a evaluation difference. So what I would like to do is have these grouped
Yeah. Can
to
I just do that with
ensure.
arms?
Yes, to ensure that
Nice.
those are. And
Oh, that's so bad.
I think it actually would work from a precedence point of view, how the Booleans operators are evaluated. Not entirely certain though, but it's still good practice to explicitly state, okay, we intend those two. If it is 0, then is forced also must be true. Now, one more complaint a bit is forced already is a Boolean.
Ah,
So we
yes.
don't need to do the
We don't need to do
redundant
this.
thing. Yes, we
Easy
just
peasy
check,
lemon squeezy.
is it true? And so if we have 0 length, but if it was not forced, this will be evaluated to false. And then we would do the contains check. Since it's empty, it's not contained either, and we won't do anything. So nothing will be globalized. And yeah, what you mentioned earlier, how do we get this flag? So let's extract that as well. And then the rest is basically just plumbing in between. So how do we now we want to create a new option that, how do we create a new option that allows us to extract this Boolean information for the globalize command?
I'm getting a feeling that you sort of probably steered exactly to the place where the answer lies.
Not sure
No.
if I did. If I did,
Okay.
it was
Okay, then
not consciously, unconsciously. Yes, I did. No, yes, actually, yes.
we can just like read what the input is and check for a force thing, right? Dash force.
Yeah. So, but first, but we don't have this option yet. So we still need to add the new option to the command so that we can extract it. And okay, now I will embarrass myself. Rumelipat, do you mind if I shorten that? Is saying hi.
Hello, welcome. Welcome to the code.
They're telling us a pretty nice code. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Especially it's good to hear like at this point in the show because like literally like I just I can literally feel like my wheels have to turn so much harder now that time is gone on. But I'm
Indeed.
still trying. I'm still there. I should have gotten a coffee at the beginning of the show. Next time I say this, please make me drink that
I will.
coffee. Okay.
will.
We need options. So
We need a new option.
I'm in a different place than you are. Am I not? Where am I? I can't see myself.
That's you are. So you are at the. Yeah, we could do it anywhere actually. We could also do it on top. It doesn't matter. We just need to declare it before we use it.
And where would we use it? At the globalize command add, right?
Yes, the globalize command.
And that's where
don't
you
do the
were. There you go.
Yes, yeah. So
Yes.
so we don't want to do the force flag on the count command because that doesn't have any side effect. But the globalizer does have side effect, and it may do too much more than was expected to do. So here the force would be good, and
That's a terrible name.
yeah, well, because it's not the globalize option, it will be the force option.
Force option, easy. Force option and okay, so we need a new option. No? Yes.
Yes.
Option of type string.
No, this will be a so let me show that in the issue. So what the force flag will be, it will be just a -- force. We will not pass any value to that. It will be, so this is called a switch. It is either true or false. So if we don't set -- force, it will be false. If we do set -- force, it will be true. So it's basically just its existence. It will be a Boolean switch. This will not have any value. We won't say -- force system or something. It will be just -- force, and that's it.
Okay. Then okay, so I don't have to pass anything.
Oh, no, we still need to give it a name, and we still need to.
Oh yeah.
we still want to give it a type. Since it's a switch, it's either on or off, which is represented by a Boolean. It's either true or false. Yeah.
So like this.
And then to the option, we pass in a name. So this would be the dash dash force and also a description.
Okay. Dash dash force. And
now for the description, I will be consulting the .NET SDK because
yes,
if we do
please.
a .NET, the .NET New actually has a force option because .NET New creates a new template. But if the file that it will create already exists, then it says no, you would overwrite something, would be disruptive. So here is also a dash dash force flag. I'm just copy this comment here. Let's see if this fits. Forces content to be generated even if it would exchange existing files. Okay, no, this doesn't really match. Let's say forces globalization of all local top level using directives.
Nice.
Directives.
I've already added it here. Is that right?
And you added it here. And now we need to extract it in the handler. So a handler is here in
set handler. Okay.
53.
Okay. And what do we do? Sorry. What do we do? What do we do?
Basically very similar to what we have before, because we in line 56 we get a value for the option project option, and what we do is just getting the value for the force option. It's the only difference is it's a different name, it's a different type.
And it's wait, is it a bool now? Or is it an option? I'm confused. It's a bool.
This would be a bool, yes.
Yeah. Yes. Force bool.
Usually Boolean variables usually are prefixed with an is.
Is
so we can
what,
say
what did you say is forced?
Forced, yeah.
Yeah. Context dot pass result probably because that's above.
Exactly.
And then
can ask that for the value of the option.
Yes, and we want the option force option.
Exactly. And now, well, we still have to pass it and everything and do the plumbing that we won't go through now, but technically now it should work because we do extract the is forced and going to our logic down there. If we don't pass anything but the flag is set, then we globalize, otherwise we don't. And I would like to do one last thing to see if the help is generated correctly. So let's I think I should still have it somewhere in the history. Also, actually there it is. Dash over dash dash help. Dash over using globalize dash dash help. And our force flag is not there.
Hey.
Oh, hold on. Hold on.
Okay.
I think I'm in the wrong directory. Oops. Let's go to our tool here. I think it was in the wrong directory. Dash over globalize help. Yes. No. Huh. Why is that? Ooh, did it not? Does it not compile and it uses? Yeah, okay, it doesn't compile and uses the old version. Let's just I just get it compiling. We will fix this later on properly. Just to get it compiling. This using, isn't it? And one more issue here. Okay. Now it does compile, and now I should be able to run it. And we still don't get the force. There is now
Yeah.
much more errors. So because of the, let's also make this a nullable thing. And in case it is null, just to get everything in order. If it is null, then we assign array.empty. This is now similar to the null condition, to the null coalescing operator that we saw earlier, but it's the null coalescing assignment operator. So what it
Love it.
does do, if this is null,
Yeah.
then it will assign this to that, so it will not be null afterwards. And
Nice.
okay, we have so many more errors. Okay, let's not go through this. We're already quite over time already. But what it will then show is also the -- force option here. And then if we do flash over using globalize, now just like that, wouldn't do anything. We would need to set -- force in order to globalize all of the local top level usings that we find.
Yeah. And I think these
And
are great additions to the tool, and I'm really happy that we got them into the yeah, that we got them in before we did the release. So, because I think that they're very useful, they're very important. There were some things that we came up with it very early on, and you know, as always, like every time we run the tool, I'm like, oh my god, we did this, we got this, and it works. What? And yeah, no, these are really nice features. Make it easier to use, make it better in every sense of the word, I feel like. So I'm really, really glad we got them in. And obviously, yeah, we're not quite there yet, but we're going to finish them and also do, yeah, finish them also for, like, finish what we did in Counter for Globalize as well and stuff like that. So it's all nice and
exactly.
ready for you guys.
And then we will just before the end, there is some more comments I would like to take a look at. The exclamation point info and the exclamation point commands. I'm actually not sure, Basi, what you mean with those. Is this like is this like an equivalent to in other command lines, basically to the -- help to get an information of all the commands that are available? Is that what you mean? I'm not entirely certain. I could
Try.
imagine though. I don't think this is supported here by system command line. Yeah, maybe this is for different CLI. I don't know. Python maybe. I don't know. And also a question. May I ask how long you do programming? Oh yes, of course. Do you want to go first?
No.
No. Okay.
No. I
Because
mean, yeah.
I have to
On and
calculate.
off,
So
I'm. What was it, 2023? So, um, like 2 years. Yeah, it's embarrassing, isn't it? But live coding is
no, not
hard.
at all.
You know, like when I'm on my own, I'm much better. That's not true. Um, that's not true because when I'm on my own, I don't have Stefan here to sort of like guide me through it and like give me out all the all the hints. Um, but yeah, about on and off 2 years. It's not really part of. It wasn't really part of my day-to-day life for a long time, and yeah, stuff like that. I think my learning curve will be steep in the next 2 years, hopefully.
Well, I'm doing live coding and building tools, so that's cool. It's not
Yeah.
embarrassing at all. Quite the opposite, I would claim. Well, I'm doing this a little bit longer, since 2008. So what's that? 16 years?
Okay.
But .NET since 10 years. A little bit 10, like, what's that? 11 years, I think. That's my .NET time. I'm still stuck on the commands. Is this if I do it here? No. Can't find out where to use exclamation point info, exclamation point commands, in which tool that would list. Now, perhaps we can follow up with that.
I'm also Googling, but so far.
Because I think the exclamation point in Google, exclamation point now has a meaning and it doesn't find the exact string. I think then if I put it under
That is
quotes,
rude.
if I put it under quotes, it still says lists of call commands. I don't really find the
No, it's okay.
exact.
We can follow up on it.
I need to
It's
follow up on
another
that.
to do for next time.
Actually, Twinning is saying that live coding with this little experience is very impressive. Requires a lot of courage
Aw.
to show your mistakes to the world.
I'm so happy that you're like regularly in the stream because like you literally boost my confidence every single time. So thank you for that. That's exactly what I needed to hear. But yeah, no, I had a great mentor and teacher and everything, so I wouldn't have been able to do it without him. I would not be here like doing any of this stuff without Stefan. So
Perhaps
also thank you for
I was about to say perhaps if this is such a great mentor, maybe you could forward me to them as well if I need.
I'll send you his email.
I, I, got, I,
You can
I
talk
gotta
to
yell
him.
at this guy.
Speak to him next time you look in the mirror.
Yeah.
What you think
Oh,
of him.
this would be a conversation. Cool. Yeah. Then we will complete the tooling and we'll then publish the next version of it. And perhaps this could be a bit of a segue. Where will we announce our next version when we have
Oh
published it?
yeah, that is great. I assume on LinkedIn, right?
Oh, yes, indeed. Also on
So
X,
obviously
but
on X
definitely
as
also
well.
LinkedIn. Yeah.
Yeah, so we show you like
Everywhere.
our X page at the beginning of the stream, and at the end we like to show LinkedIn. This is like a great place if you want to kind of reach out to us, give us your questions, your comments, any advice for future episodes, or if you just want to be kept in a loop as to when we stream again. Or obviously, if you miss a stream, you can also like find the links to all the previous streams there. So yeah, just give us a follow and stay in touch, I would say, if you like. And yeah, and also, well, maybe we could also like put this like sometimes on a LinkedIn because we also like to, recommend different creators and different content until we stream the next time. If we wanted to segue into that, or is it too early? Oh my god.
Oh, yes, indeed. So our
Yes.
next time, well, it's not a super definite in 2 weeks' time yet, because we will tackle after the. So until then, we will definitely have released the next version of our tool, of our usings tool, but we will shift gears a little and explore what's coming up in .NET 8.
Woohoo!
So it will be one of the C# 12 features, interceptors. We will take a look at what we can do with them and
Yeah.
how we would like to build a tool that helps you exploring this new feature in your projects. We're still not entirely certain if 25th in 2 weeks will be our next date, but we will announce it on X and Twitter and yeah.
On
No,
X
X
and
and Twitter, it's the
Twitter, that's
same.
gonna be
Yes.
exciting.
No. LinkedIn.
On
There we go.
LinkedIn, yes. We'll announce it. So yeah, so definitely give us a follow tonight if you haven't already, because otherwise you might miss the next episode, and that would be a tragedy. And Shakespeare's Hamlet would be like a comedy compared to it. It's also I don't know how many. Are there any Shakespeare fans amongst the audience? No, I love him. I love him, Shakespeare, and all of his works, and especially Hamlet. Yeah, it's great, but it's a tragedy. So, um, anyway, where am I going with this? I don't know. Yeah, so that is what is it? 2 weeks? Yes, is it that would be roughly 2 weeks,
Roughly 2
or
weeks.
maybe exactly 2 weeks. We'll
Maybe
see.
exactly.
Maybe exactly. So if you would like to learn something new, if you'd like to stop by in a couple of meetups, we have some recommendations that took our fancy.
One will be from on the October the 12th. I think that's tomorrow.
That's tomorrow.
to make your ASP.NET Core application amazingly fast, that some performance is, well, I think I'm obsessed a little bit by it. So this sounds super interesting. A little bit is an understatement.
Kind of. Yes. I'll be here. Modern.NET web development, batteries included, showcasing Orchard. Another English word that's very difficult to pronounce for us currently, or for me at least. Core CMS. Yeah, and that's actually quite interesting to me. So I'll definitely stop by there. Yeah.
And the final recommendation is elevating C# code quality with Codana, by Matthias Koch, who has been a previous guest in our show, helped us to integrate Nuke, and he will be joining the meetup that I co-organize. And he will also be, so this will be the online version, we stream it, but there is also an in-person version. So if you happen to be in Vienna or close and would like to meet us and Matthias, then this would be the link to go. Also paste this, the in-person link. Perhaps there can be a meet and greet and such.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. Absolutely stop by. You know, I mean, those of you who've seen Matthias, like he's definitely, like, I'm 100% sure this is going to be a great meetup and a great talk, and I'm 100% sure that everybody's going to leave the room having learned something new. So even just for that, it's definitely worth going. And yeah, and if you want to have a meet and greet with us, that'd be super awesome as well. Yeah.
And yeah, so the last piece we would like to leave you with is a link to a preview video about interceptors, because this is what we will tackle next time.
Yes.
This is C# .NET 8, C# 12, brand new. Actually, this is actually an experimental feature. So this is not even bleeding edge. This is next edge or whatever.
Next edge technology.
This
Love
is
it.
not a word. No.
It is now.
It is now.
Language changes. All right.
Cool.
And then, I think,
yeah.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys for helping us out. And when I mean us, I mean mostly myself. It's been a pleasure as always. This is really, really fun. And I've definitely learned something. I hope maybe you guys have learned something as well, or had something new at least, or had enjoyed yourselves. That's the most important bit. Yeah. Have you learned anything, Stefan?
I am.
Or have you just been teaching me?
Oh, I think no. I think it's the first time I used the list pattern, and I learned that it's not a range operator but the rest operator.
Oh yes, absolutely. Good learnings. Thank you guys so much for coming.
Thank you very much for watching. We'll be back.